We are here with Gordon Lord, Senior Director, IT Distribution and Channel Strategy for Schneider Electric. Welcome, Gordon.
Andy, thanks for having me.
So, Schneider Electric, APC is maybe probably one of the more familiar brands for a lot of our partners. Has been in the data center space for almost as long as I have. Um, Obviously, one of the things that we talk about, if we're talking about modern data center, that suggests change. So, over the last, obviously the past year and a half has been some very accelerated change. But even before that, really, what's some of the biggest changes that you've seen in the data center space?
Sure, yeah. No, Andy, it's been a lot of change. If you go back the past, 10 or 15 years, I remember going on customer sites and, you'd go in to assess their data center from a physical infrastructure standpoint, their power, their what they had for enclosures, what they had for cooling. And honestly, it was pretty straightforward. You look at what they had for rack densities, you look at the number of racks, you look at their growth strategy, and then you look at what size UPS you could recommend to them. You're putting in 40, 60, 80 kilowatt UPSs that were on-premise data center with mid-market customers all the way up to enterprise. And now you've seen the decline of the on-premise data center and the growth of these massive data centers with some of the large service providers out there. But then you've also seen just the explosion of, what we used to refer to as distributed IT, now called the edge, because you're seeing more and more compute closer to the point of consumption. So, yeah, when you say data center, you have to qualify that now, to see what the customer truly means by data center.
So it sounds like that edge is a real growth area for Schneider and APC. What kind of things are you seeing going out there now?
Yeah, no, truly. I mean, what we're seeing now, I mean, both are a huge opportunity. You're seeing the big projects with the service providers, right, as they build out massive data centers. But we are more and more customers that are looking at that compute, and even if it's not storage at the edge, you're looking at that connectivity to all those applications that might be hosted by AWS or Microsoft Azure or at one of those service providers. So how do you ensure that connectivity? So we're very focused on that. We refer to it as certainty in a connected world. How do we make sure that customers can connect to the applications that they might have, on premise or hosted somewhere else? So lots and lots of time spent there.
So going through the pandemic, obviously, data centers had to keep running, and hopefully, if they were listening to us beforehand, they were ready to really run lights out or with limited staff. With this growth in the edge, are we seeing those kind of requirements going out to those, non-traditional data centers?
Yeah, absolutely. I could think of two things that really come to mind in terms of the requirements, locally when it comes to lights out, as you say. And one, we were talking about this earlier, was just the whole idea of streaming media, right? You see, throughout the pandemic, a lot of us to get through, we weren't traveling places, so we had a huge dependency on streaming media. And that connectivity back to those applications that were hosted somewhere else was important to all of our sanity, right? Especially if you have kids, right? Like, what am I going to watch? I can't connect to the TV. I can't watch my movie. So that's a real, I would say, basic one, but an important one. I would say the other one that comes to mind would be, education. Distance learning was really new. I mean, that really didn't exist all that much before the pandemic. So, to be lights out and be able to educate our children, in that environment was absolutely critical. So having solutions and having the right approach to providing that certainty in a connected digital distance environment was absolutely critical.
So we're always looking for, innovations and opportunities for our partners. So I mean, is there something, if there was one thing you wanted the partners to know about to be able to take advantage of some of these opportunities, especially around things like edge, or distribute IT, whatever you want to call it, what would that be?
Yeah, I think our partners are very familiar with engaging customers on technology, right? I think it's a comfort level for all of us. We like to talk about speeds and feeds. We know it, we do it well, but I do think customers, are definitely looking for more of a consultative approach, and really talk the business side as well. So still talk not technology, but talk business. And one of the things that we're focused on is the digitization of the infrastructure for our customers. We know that a lot of data center and edge environments are unmanned now. Um, so we've actually come out with some offers, one called monitoring and dispatch, and we're actually trying to figure out how to bring it to our customers in a way that was transactional enough for our partners to be able to talk about it. So we actually partnered with Ingram to bring this to market, where the whole idea of UPS as a service. We go in and we talk to school districts about, or in mid-market customers, not just school districts, but we talk to them about, UPSs. And while we think it's important, they've got so many other things to focus on now, right? So, especially one-to-one when it comes to, Chromebooks and tablets and things like that. So what we wanted to do was engage customers in a way where we provided business value, so remotely monitor and manage the UPS for the customer, but do it in a way where we could maximize their financial flexibility. So whether they wanted to do that in a capex model or an opex model, we could do that. We could deliver that, through and with Ingram. So, to me, it's really engaging customers, at a business level, business value proposition, but also, technology, be able to speak both. And, that's what we want to try to do with our partners, with our great distributor partner in Ingram Micro.
Oh, thank you very much, Gordon. It's great insights on the industry, and it was great talking to you.
Andy, thank you so much. Great time speaking with you.
Thanks.